Now it's time to get the inside scoop on all the electricity going on in Mississippi Thunder Speedway. It's time for Thunder Talk with Dan Bailey, brought to you by Jailhouse Saloon. Now, here's your host, Dan Bailey.
Welcome to this week's edition of Thunder Talk. I'm Dan Bailey, and we are looking at what could be a very, very exciting 2019 season. This week on Thunder Talk, we are talking with an individual who brought to a close another driver's domination of a division. I'm talking about Lance Hofer's unbeaten streak, which goes all the way back to 2017 in the Centerville Welding and Repair USRA late model division, and the gentleman who broke that unbeaten streak joins us this week on Thunder Talk, none other than Shaun Mann. Shaun, welcome to the program.
Hey, Dan. Thanks for having me.
The first question to ask is, when you're battling against someone like Lance Hofer, who has been unbeaten since 2017, does that spur you on? Does that energize you when you get to the track? Or is that kind of a moral killer when you're getting to the track?
It's a little bit of both. You get frustrated after a while when you're trying so hard to get up to the front and get that win, but you also pushes you to make your car better every week and try and beat that guy that's winning every week.
Of course, the follow-up to that question is, last Friday night, you did it. You beat him. You were the first guy in, honestly, 3 seasons to beat Lance Hofer. That's got to feel like a big boost for you.
Yeah, me and Lance have been racing against each other since the Hornet days, so we're very familiar and we're very competitive with each other, and we've really tried to pick our program up this year and try and get that win, I guess.
You know, I have to be honest. Opening night, I thought, as a spectator up in the announcer's booth watching you race, I thought your car looked extremely fast. But talking to you afterwards and seeing some of your posts on social media, you were very displeased with how your car was working on that first night of this season.
Yeah, we had a good car the first night. We were just a little bit too tight going into the corner, and in this class with a limited motor, if you're scrubbing any speed off and you are too tight, it's really hard to make up that time. So it really pushed us back that first night, but we loosened the thing up for the second week and it seemed to work a lot better.
So to make those changes for the second week, which obviously were perfect because you came away with that feature win, was that the sort of thing where you just threw the whole toolbox at it, or were they small adjustments that you had to make?
We had just did a few adjustments. We didn't want to get out of the ballpark. We knew that we had something that had good drive off the corner, so we just needed to fix our entry problem, and so we just did a few minor changes for the heat race, and for the feature we did a couple more, and it seemed to work really well.
Really well, I would say so. You mentioned drive off the corner. I would watch you come out of 2 and come out of 4, and the way that you were running the track, you were right down at the bottom. You looked like a rocket ship. That car would take a set, and you would blast out of those turns. Was that something that you knew was there if you could just get that car to turn?
Yeah, that was something that we've been striving for the last year and a half, I would say, to try and get off the corner. And we finally did get that, but to start off, we were a little too tight, and then once we did get it off the corner, we just had to loosen it up just that little bit.
So does this reinvigorate your thoughts for 2019? Does this make you feel like you could become the guy to beat in this division?
I don't know about that. There's some pretty good talent in this division, and there's a lot of guys with a lot of experience that are going to be there every week, and I think you're going to see a few more winners this year.
Let's talk about this division in general, the USRA late model division. We're several years into what I would call an experiment. Bob Tim put this rules package together, and I think the first year or two we were seeing some of you racers kind of test the waters, see if this was a place where they wanted to be, and last Friday night we had a great turnout of late models, I thought. What's your feeling on this division? Is it where it needs to be?
It's definitely where it needs to be. For the late model racing in this area, for the cost, it's just too expensive to go to open late model racing nowadays for the average guy. And with this division, you got a spec shock, you got a limited motor, and you're still going as fast, sometimes faster than some of the open cars.
Yep.
So it's really a cost-effective way to get into the late model division.
Tell us about who is helping out Shaun Mann Racing for 2019.
Oh, we've got a list of sponsors on our car this year. BK Engines, first and foremost, they've helped us quite a bit through the years. We've always gone with them. Mann's Tree Service, Liz Schwab at Property Plus Real Estate, Scenic Landscape Services, River Valley Storage, Outlaw Wraps and Apparel, River Valley Estates, Outlaw Auto Sales, and Warrior Race Cars.
You know, you mentioned BK Race Engines as being an integral part of your race team, not only this year, but for the entire time you've been up in the late model ranks. It seems like all of the cars in this division at Mississippi Thunder Speedway are actually very fast. Very, very fast. It sounds like, and based on what you said earlier when we were talking, that maybe the trick is getting everything to work together. You do need that speed, but you also need that car to handle. You also need your setup to be there for you. It needs to be the entire package now. It's not just go fast, it's go fast and handle well, right?
That's correct. I mean, if you're off just a little bit on handling, you're going to lose that time that's very precious in this class just because you are on a limited motor, and every tenth of a second that you scrub off is huge.
Okay, so this is a bit of a tricky question that I'm going to throw your direction because now you've gotten that first feature win out of the way. What sort of a year would you consider to be a successful year for 2019? What are you looking at for some benchmarks that when this year is all done, you can say, you know, I think this was a really good 2019 for us?
I mean, obviously for every racer, our goal every night is to go out and win. But I just like to go out and have fun. We're going to travel a little bit this year, but every Friday night at Fountain City, Mississippi Thunder. And to have a good year, I guess we just want to keep the car in one piece and go out and have fun.
Well, on top of the speed and on top of the feature win that you picked up last Friday night and on top of breaking that near dominance that Lance Hofer, who's a great guy, he's just been very, very fast. On top of all of that, I have to say, as a race fan, the car this year looks great. I don't know who did the wrap for you, who put it all together, whose idea it was. It looks really, really sharp.
Well, thanks. That wrap came from Outlaw Wraps out of Ashland, and we kind of worked together, and we wanted something bright and flashy, and it turned out good.
Bright and flashy, and I got to tell you, it looked pretty good sitting in victory lane. Well, Shaun Mann, we appreciate you joining us this week on Thunder Talk. I know you may not be in action this Friday night, but for the rest of 2019, man, best of luck, okay?
Thanks, Dan.
Shaun Mann, driver of the 01, the very first feature winner in the late model ranks other than Lance Hofer since 2017. What a night last Friday was for Shaun Mann. Hey, speaking of late models, I want to remind you that coming up this Friday night at Mississippi Thunder Speedway is a special event. The Dirt Kings Touring Series late model ranks going to be at Mississippi Thunder Speedway. You may have heard Shaun mention in reference, this is an open series, so we will see a lot of those big open late models hitting Mississippi Thunder Speedway for the first time. $3,000 to win. You can find a lot of the information online at MississippiThunder.com. That's going to wrap it up for this week's edition of Thunder Talk. Remember, hope to see you this Friday at Mississippi Thunder Speedway. And don't forget, you can find the entire unedited version of this week's Thunder Talk at the Mississippi Thunder Speedway YouTube channel. Make sure you check it out.
Come on down to the Jailhouse Saloon. Yeah, come on down to the Jailhouse Saloon.
The Jailhouse Saloon is where everyone wants to do time. Come on in and nab up some of the best homemade pizza around. The Jailhouse has happy hour weekdays from 2 until 6, free pool on Mondays, and lunch every day at a great price.
The Jailhouse Saloon where everyone wants to do time.